I believe we are live. Should be at least. Cycle 11, day 14, back with the Iron Teeth here in our JC Learns Automation live stream series. Hopefully everybody's having a good Saturday or very early Sunday, depending on where you are in the world. But yes, good to see everybody. I'm going to try my best to actually get stuff accomplished in this stream. So we're going to see how that goes. Last stream, I almost said episode, it's not really an episode. We started by getting this area cleaned up. We still have quite a bit to do in that regard. But we've made some nice progress, and I think this is going to be a good beginning to another district. Which, of course, when the time comes, I will allow you guys to participate in the naming selection. Oh, God. Alright, if I had a nickel for every time someone suggested I become a VTuber, I would have enough nickels to probably pay someone to design a VTuber model or whatever. I'm not doing that. It would be very funny, but I'm not doing that. I digress. I wanted to talk a little bit more about this area here, because this is really not an ideal setup for irrigation. Like, it could be a whole lot worse. I do recognize that, but we are going to want to blast this through, like some of you suggested, since this is a water seep. It will automatically generate water until the height around it, or I guess directly above it, reaches 0.8 meters. So if we take at least a little channel out of here, like some of you guys suggested, all of this and all of this will be flooded with good water. We can also take these natural dams out, which, if we scroll down on the map here, means all of this, 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 blah, 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 all the way to the edge of the map, will have some nice, clean water, at least during a temperate cycle. So I think that's a good idea, but we do have to have explosives for that to be a thing. And we do have the science. That has not been an issue, but we have not been super great about getting things accomplished the previous couple of streams. So if you guys will bear with me here, I think it's going to be worth getting into this. I'm going to unlock this explosives factory. I'm going to put it up here because, well, this is a permanent power source, and we're not currently using either of these. I'm going to have to set this to explosives because we do have fireworks now. And we're going to make a storage for some explosives. And I guess I don't really have a good spot to put it except maybe right about here. So we'll do that. I do also want to play with fireworks at some point because that's a fun thing. But I think that is going to take care of most of our issues. Let's triple speed through the rest of this. And outside of that, we do also probably want to get into extract, but that will be a later thing. Oh, hey, bad tide in 3 days. What good timing. What perfect, amazing timing for this. I'm going to be trying to flood all the good stuff everywhere, and then we're going to have that in the way. We're going to monitor this to see just how fast this keeps going up over time. Because at some point, they will suck all of the bad water out. And then it'll be okay. It seems like it's still kind of serviceable, even if it is very slow. But it is probably working. Can this guy reach elsewhere? Yes, he can. So let's give him a helping hand and get those marked. I don't know if he can get absolutely everything. He can get most of it. Okay, that seems doable. Metal parts we do have. Those are made all the way over here. We do have that set to a resource counter, which honestly we should have put on a timer, but I'm not that worried about it. I'm going to make the choice to back scroll chat and make sure there's nothing else that I need to address, but I absolutely cannot be caught like 15 minutes behind again. Now, let's see. Timer didn't reset the relay. Is that a reference to something I just didn't get? I'm slow sometimes. I was up very late last night working on some other stuff, so I just got out of bed an hour ago. Well, you got out of bed at noon, you're lazy. Look, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Hello from Germany. Hello. Do my best not to distract too much. I mean, you can. I'm not saying don't talk. I'm just saying, like, you know, we need to keep the tangents to a minimum today. I am not in live chat. You are correct. Let's fix that real quick. Now I'm in live chat. There we go. No. No. We're not VTubing. we're not doing that. Okay, so this is now slow enough for me to be convinced most of the bad water is gone. But I'm not going to pause this until all of the fluid on this level is gone, because we also have this down here that needs to evaporate or be dealt with. And since we're about to have a bad tide, this is going to be shut off. Well, it's already shut off because the what do you call it? But I do need to get that going. Should have made this the priority building, because I completely forgot. And that's not good. This also, you know, this didn't automate like it was supposed to. That's bad. I thought I took care of that last stream. Because I have the rest of these automated to, I think it's Gary. No, timer 2. Which is, no, that's the depth sensor. I guess I have to make my own. Guess I have to make my own thing. Well, for now it's fine. I don't want to risk messing it up before bad stuff happens. We try to save some of the bad water this time as well. So, one thing that we can do is over time... Okay, so this is actually working now. Good. Ah, yes. It would not be a YouTube live stream without my phone immediately blowing up with spam calls once again. But we've got a couple of these spots we could maybe enlarge a little bit to turn into bad water farming. It's just that right now I want to make sure we're okay with all of the clean stuff that we do want. Anyway, we don't have enough beavers to do this, but we have it in place, and it's ready to go. So I guess that is about all we can ask for. I do also at some point want to make a little bit of a better setup to deal with these guys. I don't want to block them off. I know the game lets you do that. I just, it doesn't seem satisfying to me. But for now, these guys are just going to come through here. Fill this. Where did all that go? Because it was right here. Well, anyway, this is going to fill up. It's going to be very, very, very full in the next 2 days. Assuming this can actually put that much out. I keep forgetting that we're on normal mode and the bad tides are short. In Beaver metric time, that's a lot. It is, Mark. Thank you very much for supporting for all of this time. I really appreciate it. Do you regret being in chat? Well, no, because if I didn't want to be in chat, I wouldn't live stream. That's like the entire point. Interacting with people in real time. Oh, hey, Hoff. I wonder if the HTTP thing could be integrated into a mod such that an HTTP request could send a specified beaver to a mouthwash station. I don't know that the mouthwash station will work in 1.0, and Battery has retired from modding, so I'm not gonna be proud about that. But it's probably possible if the name of a beaver is known, which once I'm actually able to get the naming stuff fixed, and I have a standing offer to get that figured out. I just have to have time to meet. On VC or whatever, but okay, yeah, that did overflow. I just need to make sure I'm not going to be in a really, really bad spot. Okay, we got 0.7 days. Okay, good. That overflowed there. That's what I was hoping it would do instead of backing up over here. I got a lot to think about at one time. This should all drain out. I think we want to probably remove these natural dams soon-ish. We will see. We've pumped almost all of this out, which is good. And only a 2-day bad tide. I was a little worried that it wouldn't actually give us enough time to do much. But now we only have this little bit here. And this is still technically contaminated. It's not that big of a deal. Should be alright. Could use the flow for power. Yes, but this is not going to be normally pushing out any power. And as of now, that has stopped. So that's, you know, it is what it is. This is going to drain pretty fast. It's going to remain a little bit here. This has now been paused. This needs to be automated with the depth sensor or something over here, and I don't know that I can actually place one without sending beavers down into this mess. How did I... excuse me. How did I do this over here? Okay, that's not the one I was looking for. This is the one I was looking for. Yeah, so that's automated to Gary. This is also automated to Gary. That's not what I was worried about. All right. My brain is still booting up for the day. You know, it is what it is. This I have to set properly. What did I have this set to? I should have just copy-pasted the settings. Okay, 0.65 and 1.0. That'll work. This is clean enough for me to feel okay with this. And it'll dilute into this thing, but we're probably not going to use that anymore anyway. Alrighty, so now we got clean water coming in. I'm going to go ahead and say that because this is no longer polluted and it hopefully will never be polluted again, we don't need to have this on. If I can press the correct button, there we go. I thought about putting stuff over here, but then I remembered we have this with the bad water seep that has all these thorns around it, and we're not going to be able to deal with those for a while. So it would make more sense for us to have bad water stuff over here, at least for harvesting. There's not really any flow to make power unless we put an engine over there. And that would allow us to make, because these are 150 each. You know what? Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. I think it's going to be the easiest way to deal with this without any stupidity, or minimal stupidity, I should say. So if that's going to let me go there and there, I just want these to be close to each other. Actually, you know what? I don't have to have the doorways spread apart like that, do I? No. No, we can use our brains. Maybe. Possibly. How many spaces is that? Is that 3? This really shouldn't be that big of an issue, but as we all know, stuff just happens that way. Alright, so that leaves me 3 spaces in between there. That is fine. That's going to give me an opportunity to unlock. I do have all the resources for this. I do. We want large tanks for bad water. And then we're going to have all the refinement and stuff happening here. So why don't we... Yeah, why don't we do this? 2 big tanks. One for bad water, one for extract. We'll just go ahead and lay this out. Because, well, why not? Put that there. And then, since we need to have a explosives factory here, we can easily fit that. That's going to be 150 HP. And then, I was going to put a second one for fireworks, but we can, you know, we can put that somewhere else if we want to. The centrifuge is 200. Okay, well, that'll be fine. It'll be alright. All I have to do is just have this stuff laid out correctly, so it's not going to be a huge pain in the butt. Let's do that there. Let's do that here. And I know we're going to end up, if I don't correct this, we're going to end up building this before we build the engine. So let's actually deprioritize both of those. This, of course, can be pre-prioritized by haulers, so that will be just fine. This will be our little bad water area. Because this is always going to be on. Alright, now I'm behind on chat again. No, I'm not a coffee drinker. Gary, thank you very much. I appreciate the support. Keeping the land cable and impact drill fund going. I actually do have an impact drill. Well, actually, it's not an impact drill per se. It's one of those drivers with a chuck. I think impact drill is a separate thing, like going through concrete or something. But I digress. I appreciate you, Gary. Hope you're having a good day. I know it's oh no, it's only early evening where you are. Not going to be a super long stream, so hopefully you'll be able to stick around for most of it. All right. You got this set to pause because we don't need it to be paused. As soon as we have dynamite, oh, wow, that was quick. Well, we have dynamite, folks. Let's get in here. Research. I'll just do the singles for now. I should be able to reach all of this without... yeah, you see, that's a thing. Without getting rid of this stuff, I can't demolish what's in the middle. I can't get out to here unless I send a beaver down. Which, you know what? We can go ahead and do. That's fine. We'll just blow all this up because why not? It's going to take him a little bit of time to do that, but that'll be okay. I don't think we need this to stay here. We can just leave this, and then that, of course, won't matter being over here. We got metal processing. Probably should turn that back on. At least one of them. And we've got some beavers who are currently homeless. Let's fix that. I think instead of trying to put more of these barracks everywhere, I'm just going to replace the existing ones with the high-density versions, because that is going to allow them to still be in the radius for all of these benefits. Prioritize. Actually, we only need to prioritize 2 of these. That's going to get us 16, which is one more than we need, and then that can show up eventually. Okay. No, we had this discussion last stream, Hoff. I don't know if you're still here for it or not, but at one point I had a 1,000-foot spool of Cat 5e in-wall cable that I wired 2 houses with when I was renting places in college. I obviously was not going to rip things out of the wall when I left, so I don't really have any of that left right now. Farming-wise, food we're looking pretty good. We need big storage, but we haven't really set up an ideal colony spot for that yet. Okay, these are working. That's fine. I do want to find a way to keep this cleaner. So to drain this all out, I'm going to have them remove natural dam. I know they can't get over here yet, but soon, maybe. At some point they will be able to. I think I can get them through here to some degree. It might take them a while to walk all this way, but that is now in range. Before this gets exploded, I want this to be clean. And then at some point when we get the tunneling done, which I don't have enough science for at the moment, we can do little tunnel diversions like we did in the first Folktales map on 1.0. I think that was on Oasis. Oasis sounds right. But that'll get this area nice and clean. I don't dare put more levees over here because then that's going to spill over to this area. But I think we're going to want to find somewhere where I can just have this go out. And it's probably going to end up being around here. We'll see. We've got time. One thing I dislike about this particular map is the lack of bad water sources and therefore the inability to use bad water discharges. I think that's intentional. But keep in mind, there's a lot of geothermal fields on this. Like, you can see 3 of them right here. I've already occupied 2, 3, yeah. And then there's another one over here. So they definitely thought about that to make sure that it would be, you know, viable to play without too much weeping or gnashing of teeth. It's a departure from the typical map mechanics, and I do appreciate that. Finally caught a stream, been loving the series, just wanted to say thanks. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you hanging out. Hopefully we can get something actually accomplished today. we've been having a very good time in the streams. It's always fun, but getting things done is not always guaranteed. I do want to kind of redo this whole thing here and build a nice spot for a whole bunch of different types of food. So currently, in terms of food, we're making everything except coffee. And most of the beavers are doing fine. I don't have... I guess I do technically have a spot I could grow some coffee. But I kind of don't want to take these out. So what I will do instead is I'll just plant some coffee bushes here, since that's not going to impede progress. The gatherers will take care of that, and then, assuming I've got enough supply, which I do, this is tiered, so that's okay. Can unlock the coffee brewery. Oh, I don't have storage for treated planks. That is a big deal. I should have taken care of that earlier. Well, I know this is not the ideal way to do this, but this is just convenient right next to that. That's going to give us another 40. That should be enough slush for a while. Yeah, unlock coffee brewery, and then that can go... Well, I could put it here, I could put it here, I could put it... No, there's not really good power conducting anywhere else. I like the idea of being able to go around here, but I don't think it's going to make a bit of difference. Okay. Now we are going to want to have water kind of nearby for the coffee brewery to do its thing. Seems like, you know, slowly we're working toward having large tanks for everything. I don't really have... 'cause I did just build these up here. I'm in the process of building these. I guess I can go ahead and do it. Just so we don't have to worry about it later. I have one for water, one for coffee. That's not copy. There we go. We need more storage anyway. We're just getting there. And that's another thing I wanted to do is get more pumps, but we have to have bodies of water that are infinitely renewable. Like right here. This would be a good place to do some pumping. Since we're Iron Teeth, we don't have the giant ones like the Folktails do. But putting a couple of these here, especially when and if this turns into a separate district, would be a very smart idea. It's currently the only bad water storage we have on this side of the map. We're just going to, you know, use this to make explosives as soon as we have enough beavers, and then that is going to be that. Alright, they finished most of this. They're going to work on that at some point. I need more of the breeding pods. Once we have extract, we can make the advanced ones, but for right now, I just need more breeding pods. So let's add one. I don't know where, really. But if we're going to redo these anyway, it doesn't really matter. I'll just put one right there. They'll eventually get that going. Ah, yes, The Wheel of Time. I read those books when I was, I don't remember how old I was. It was, over 20 years ago, though. Back when there were only 10. How many did there end up being? 13? Brandon Sanderson finished the last one or the last two, I think. Okay. That is not started yet. The engine is done. These are both deprioritized, so we might not see those for a while. Let's see. It's still looking good. We haven't gotten here. Let's, before we have another bad tide, let's remove this. We're working on dynamite. Did we get all the dynamite? Looks like we did, minus the one that would go right here. Okay, that's the wrong button. That, I think, is going to be good for us to get this started. Flowing through here, flush everything out. That's about to be removed, and that should be the rest of our bad water. Slowly flowing downhill and out of the map. We do still have tons of it coming out from here, and then from way upstream. But this will get this area surprisingly green, I think we will find. Alright. K for kaboom. And out it goes. So this, of course, is going to be... It's going to be kind of meh for a while, but eventually it'll get cleaned out. Yeah, the debris actually went where I wanted it to, because it had no other choice. Yeah, look at all this green we've got now. It's always satisfying to hear that go off. You are correct. Yeah, I actually am a little concerned about how much, or how not much this has receded, but we'll deal with that. This would be a decent spot to do a deep irrigation thing. If we're able to make that work. I kind of don't want to mess with that right now. Look, it's completely transformed this entire area of the map. And that's cool. Alright, I think we can leave that alone for the time being. Is there any more in the way of bad water that we could kind of seal off easily? This we don't want to seal off because this is how we're getting our bad water, but we could possibly reduce it in scope so it's not polluting quite so much. Temporary fluid dump. I don't know that the fluid dumps would actually do that much to clear this. Easiest thing to do would be to override this right here and just shut this down so all of this water flows away, and then this has a chance to catch up. Now that we know this does work. Well, we don't want to dam this up because this is going to be full of bad water when this comes out. Possibly the better thing to do, and this is probably what you meant, I'm sorry if it is, but would be to put some dams here to keep clean, nice water in. And yeah, I'm not going to worry about it being dams versus whatever else, because we already have clean water coming in. So that's That's going to be fine right like that. I'll have this go one more over so it at least lines up. I do want them to do that. Alright, so... yeah, this is going to take its sweet time evaporating because it doesn't have enough pressure to flow anywhere. First time catching live stream, welcome. And there's a couple other folks I saw names fly by in the chat who said it's first time in the stream. I appreciate you guys being here. Let's fix this real quick here. There we go. Did you know you can select automation building directly in the map on the configuration buildings? Yes. Yeah, you can click the building, you can do the drop down. It's just a force of habit doing it the other way. No, Hoffa, I know what you're talking about. Also, it's very funny that YouTube auto-moderated that comment because it thinks it's lewd. That's definitely not what that was, but... if you make the bad water collection too small, it'll dry up during a drought. Well, we're on normal mode, so the longest drought is 9 days. I think we're going to be alright. Especially because we have this large tank to tide us over. I have plenty of medical beds. I see at least 5, and there might be some others elsewhere, but I've only got 3 right now. Yeah, the bad tide was only 2 days. It's really not really not much of anything on normal mode. Because this stream is about learning mechanics and not about pure survival. I think a couple people missed the memo on that and were like, "Why are you playing normal mode?" Look, you don't have to do hard mode all the time. Geothermal is a base game thing. Also, welcome. Good to have you here. Both factions can access this. It goes on a node like this right here. That is not... there we go. It goes on one of these, and then it makes 400 HP. It's a base game thing they added with 1.0 in the very beginning of Experimental 1.0, I think. Yeah, it's cool. I like it a lot. And it really makes maps like this possible where there are no traditional water sources or bad water sources. It gives you a lot more flexibility with how you end up designing stuff. Ah, there were some trees, but this guy couldn't reach them. So let's give him a little bit more of a chance to do that. Is there any way I can get him closer to the rest of these trees and still catch those? Kind of, I guess. That's about the best I can do there. Make sure I mark all of these oaks eventually. We are going to plant more trees over here. But part of that is I wanted this to be corralled so we could actually use all this space. And obviously it's not going to let us do absolutely everything. Since we are here, I need to blast this down so that I can complete the ring of the irrigation barriers all the way around here. And yeah, I'm going to need one more tile here to get that completely set up, but I don't have terrain yet. I have not opened Discord DMs in a very long time. It's really not at all not a very reliable way to contact me, just because I have so much piled up in there. But I'll try to remember after stream to go take a look. Alright, let's get this blasted out. And put in here, here, here. It's going to leak a little bit out here in terms of contamination. Not the actual bad water, but just the tendrils here, as we call them. I'll need to put one more piece of dirt here, but I don't have those unlocked yet. And honestly, I maybe should have done these 2 blocks high, so this pool would be a little bit bigger. I think we're alright, though. Okay, so we have a drought coming in. And this will take care of most of that. Again, until I have diversions, I don't want to mess with blocking this up. We'll want to be smart with how we have all this operate. I don't think this will ever back up here in terms of bad water, but we may want to at some point take care of that as well. Anyway, this is going to keep us in a pretty good spot. Shouldn't be too much to be worried about. Still have some trees that can get cut down. These guys are still doing metal. We need to have more metal blocks so we can build the rest of these tanks, but they did get these done. Coffee should be here in some amount of time. Yeah, they just started actually growing the berries, or the beans, I guess. Are all those grown up 9 days? Looks like it. All right. Cool. That makes me feel a little bit better about the progress here. What are we waiting on here? These are just deprioritized, so they're going to take forever. That's probably what it is. We got this other one operating. Yep, okay. So we're most of the way toward our first beaver out of this new breeding pod. We aren't using all of our wood, which means we probably need to get to work on some other stuff to utilize that. I want to do tunnels. So we are going to have to get to blasting pretty soon. Probably could use some more storage for planks in various locations. If you are a late joiner, one of the things I want to do maybe today, maybe not, is to try and do tunnel diversions for these bad tide drains to help keep more of this area clean. But that's not necessarily going to be possible until this is clean by evaporation. So we're going to see. We got a day and a half until a drought starts, and then if it is long enough, this might actually dry up sometime toward the end of that drought or the beginning of the next temperate cycle. And then I could send somebody in here. This is on what level? Okay, we're going to call it on level 5, so we'd have to blast down. Well, we don't have to go all the way down, but I do like doing it that way. We just make a little drain here that would open. Because we can do that now with the automation, it could open with the help of, these aren't sluices anymore, but I got to figure out what each of those do. And just drain bad water outside of the map, and then we can use this entire space for doing literally anything else. And, importantly, keep this mining area clear and clean from bad water. Okay. Let's see, what else am I missing here? Did I decide where to divert the bad water? Okay, well, I did just talk about that. I should have read a little bit quicker. Broken telescope in the middle of the bad water pond is mocking me. We're going to get it. Don't worry. But I have to, you know, not kill the beavers to do that. No, 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 I'm not going to block the drains off. I know you can do it, but I'm not going to do it. I feel like, for me personally, that kind of undermines the whole point of doing this. I'm not here to just disable base game features with technicalities. I'm here to work around them and figure out how to solve challenges. Please try putting one irrigation barrier where you think you need the block of dirt. I mean, I don't know that that's going to really... well, they haven't finished these either. I don't think it's going to do anything because, remember, they changed the mechanics on these to where you have to have them directly adjacent for them to actually block anything. But I will humor you. No, put that there, and we're going to see whether or not that works. I don't think it's going to do exactly what you think it is. Okay, 9-day drought. I don't want this to go dry, so I'm going to pause these just so we don't pump it all out. This is going to flow out, so that is going to be dry. But 9-day drought means that within the next day or so, this is going to be completely dry. And we are on the precipice of having a centrifuge ready to go, which we could automate, but we're going to choose not to. That's going to be for explosives. And then that means I don't have to have this running over here, although we are going to keep this going to use all of this bad water, fill up our explosives a bit. And then we are going to get going, folks. We also have tubeways. I don't have any mods for this, so we do have the full-size tubeway station. We have regular tubeways, and we have the vertical tubeways. I do not have tubeway tunnels because that is a mod. I do not have the tiny tubeway stations because that's a mod. I do not have the small tubeway stations because that is also a mod. So we're going to be working with essentially completely vanilla stuff. MP3 is a speed watcher. He's very good at that. Got to automate the process. Automate which one? A couple minutes behind reading. You could just dirt over a bad water source and call it a day. Yeah, you could, but I would like to imagine the real life, quote unquote real life, they're walking, talking bipedal beavers. Like, none of this is real life, but for the sake of argument, in real life, if you block off something like that, there's going to be consequences at some point, and it's going to explode. Like, why do we have volcanic eruptions? It's because the pressure underneath the Earth builds to such a point that whatever contains it on the surface can't do it anymore, and you have a tremendous, huge explosion. I would like to imagine that in Beaverland, it's going to operate roughly the same way, and for that reason, I don't want to block off these things. Just to keep it a little bit more lore compliant. But we have 7 entire days left of drought, and I have access to this area now, which means we're going to have a pretty convenient method of getting down here, right near where we're making all of this stuff, and we can start the process of getting everything cleared up, even if I have to make circuitous rounds around things. I know we don't need a ton of wood right now. We will absolutely need a ton of wood at some point. But for now, I think I can just have that set here. These are operating. These are pumping. They're probably going to run out of bad water at some point. But I got 1,200 stored up. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Definitely want the extract. I have almost 2,000 science, which is what I need to get the tunnels unlocked. Okay. Trying to think what is going to be the best option here. We're going to want storage for explosives near here, so it's not going to be that big of a deal. We can put that there. We can put industrial piles for wood. Because this is going to be the easiest thing to do. And then I'm going to put a smaller tank. Not a small tank, a smaller tank for extract. And hopefully get all this taken care of. Set this to obtain. This for the logs is just for the benefit of these guys. It doesn't really matter. But the explosives and the extract, for sure. How many science do I have? No, same amount. All right. Yeah, but this is all we need to make the tunnel, and it's 6 times as many planks as anything else. But they'll figure it out. Okay. And I know. Okay, these aren't active because I have too many beavers working other jobs. What do I want to turn off for that to be viable? I guess because this is so far away and we still just have the one district right now, I guess I will pause this. I'm going to keep this going because, well, we're going to need metal, but that will at least give me one more beaver to go into. There we go. Go into the inventories, get that taken care of. Yeah, now we don't need to use, at the very start, we don't need to use tunnels. Because we need to have this just be kind of a free fall thing, and then we'll put gates on top of it. Love when mod makers catch the streams. Oh, who's in here that I missed? Oh, okay, you're talking about. Okay. Oh, there's a bunch of folks who come in here. Depending on availability, obviously not going to be guaranteed to see them, but there's been a really, really good community of mod makers or people who are involved in the process of testing those or giving ideas or whatever, who've been showing up here for years. Hasn't noticed yet. Haven't noticed what? Disconnected path. Okay. Well, oh. Yeah, okay. I did this on purpose, by the way, so that I didn't send beavers all the way up here to nonsense land. Because I don't need them to go over here. But now that problem has been mostly solved. And I've got an extra beaver. Okay, well that's a good problem to have because I was starting to run out of things for them to do. Okay, hauling post. I don't want to necessarily deprioritize these. But I do think it would be to our benefit to have one extra hauling beaver. So that's fine. I've got a builder's hut that's full. I've got this that's full. So we're probably okay. 1949. All right. Let's let this run for a little bit more. Get them going on here. Oh, they all went up here before I had this disconnected. That's funny. I'm sure there's going to be a fireworks expansion mod at some point. Mod idea: levees randomly blow up like like the new in-game explosives. Oh, that would be terrifying. But I don't know. I feel like you'd have to have a pretty robust physics engine and constantly doing calculations on back pressure and the weight of water and everything. But it would be very, very interesting if there were a mechanic that would force the player to think about structural integrity of dams they're building. Either new here is there not points on the hill. Points is in what? Man, I get like 3 of these spam calls in the time since I started this stream. It was 41 minutes ago. Path not connected by the scavenger flag to where you want to build under bad drains. We did reconnect that. You must be a couple minutes behind still. Yeah, let me know what you're asking about the points on the hill. I don't, unfortunately, think I know what you're asking. Contamination barriers still out of reach. Are they? They... Ah, okay, alright. Yep, you are absolutely correct. I forgot to put that in there. Alright, well, it seems I owe our friend Hoff here an apology for doubting that this was going to work. As you can see, it did. Alright, so good on you. Good on you, Hoff, for letting me know about that. And other people, I'm sure it wasn't just Hoff, that's just who I remember seeing in chat. Yeah, structural integrity. The Project 1K platforms, the point loads were extreme on that, but that's part of the fun of the game, I guess. Water pressure would be an interesting mechanic. We do kind of already have water pressure. This isn't a good map for me to demonstrate what I'm talking about, but we do already have something like that because we can put a cap on these things and it'll limit the amount of water that can go through. But in terms of height, head pressure I think might be the term I'm looking for, because obviously you have water on 1 level, 2 level, 3 level, 4 level, so on and so forth. And of course in real life, atmospheric pressure as you go lower into the ocean or diving in a lake or a swimming pool, you'll notice your eardrums are going to be very, very uncomfortable after a certain amount of distance. It would be very interesting if they were able to do that in this game. I don't know that we need it. I think it might be a little bit too much for the whimsical Beaver post-apocalyptic survival game. Car's extended warranty. Man, if I had an extended warranty on a car this old, I would not want to be the warranty company having to pay out on stuff. Let's see. Suggestion: when you're clicking stuff for minutes in satisfactory, answer a call, put it on speaker and read the funniest answers from chat to the people on the other side. Oh no, I'm afraid of what you guys would have me tell these people. Also, it's, it is worth noting that a lot of people who work in these call centers are, just trying to provide for their families, whether or not what they're doing is any good. At the end of the day, they're still humans, and I don't need to abuse somebody just because they're annoying me. And somebody said something in another stream about how I don't like the term third world countries because it's a dated political reference that doesn't actually really mean much of anything anymore, but people have just kind of co-opted it to mean whatever they're trying to articulate with that. But a lot of these people who work in these call centers are they're not in advantageous situations, and it's not a kind thing to just be mean to somebody in that kind of a position. So I just don't answer the phone. Whimsical post-apocalyptic survival game. Not usually two moods that go together. That is very true. But Timberborn manages to do a pretty good job of that. I would ask them to explain in detail what they need to present to me, then put the phone down and then go do something else. They're paid by the hour and I don't have to be mean. That is another option. One of my friends, who's part of his job involves driving a large truck with an air horn, would answer would answer the phone. And then hold his phone outside the window and blow the horn. It's like, all right, that's funny. That's funny, but it's probably not a good surprise to the people on the other end. 13 Wheel of Time titles back answer your question. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, okay, that's a good point. Talking about the caps on the metal platforms and everything. So the game does give you an option, and we have it right here in... wait, did they get rid of those? Was there not... Uh-oh. Am I just nuts, or did we lose the ability to get the bad water discharge? 'Cause I don't see it anymore. I know this map doesn't have regular bad water sources. So maybe they did. I should read the patch notes more thoroughly, but then I get so excited that we're about to have fun playing the game I don't even bother reading it. But yes, The game at one point, maybe if they got rid of it now, and I'm supposed to know that because theoretically that's my job, did allow us to build these highly reinforced metal structures that would stop that from coming out. But wooden stuff, no. There'd be no chance wood would stop that. Wood. We're on the water tab, and it's not here. It's not showing because they aren't on the map. Are you sure that's why? I mean, it would make sense, but is the game smart enough to know that? And then modify the UI accordingly? Huh, geothermal doesn't show if no vents. Okay, I mean, I have no reason to believe that you're not right. It's just the first time I've noticed this, so my brain's in a state of, huh? Anyway, dynamite, double dynamite, triple dynamite, tunnels. We have over 2,000 science now because I've been spending so much time talking. Now we have tunnels. I'm going to not waste all of these resources blasting out drains for that. But if we have... I think these will just go straight down without splashing everywhere else, but we'll figure it out. I want to blast down directly here without tunneling. And then get beavers down in here to actually build a tunnel. We have 4 days left in the drought, and then most likely around 12 in a temperate cycle, before we have a possibility of these activating again. Impermeable floors? Well, yes, but those are just metal that attaches to wood. So I would not consider that to be super structural in nature. That I think of that more as like a shield or armor that you put on something. Versus the bad water discharge, the way it's constructed actually looks like the beavers, because you have to use dynamite to build it too. Like the beavers are blasting down to drive pilings way down in the earth and anchor it to something. Confirming discharge availability based on map. Okay, well that's good to know. I thought I was about to be taking pills and going to crazy town because I didn't realize this was gone, and I really should know. But I digress. Let's get these guys in here blasting. We'll do this in pieces. And then get that down to the very bottom of the map so we don't have to worry about it being on top of other things. Starting a new save on Down the Plug Hole. Enjoy. I am really liking that map. I'm kind of afraid of what it's going to do to me later, but you know how it goes. Let's get that done. Reminder, we're going down to level 0, and then we're just going to have this go straight off. I think a 1-wide tunnel will do it, but I might do 2 wide, like straight out, just like so. So knowing that that is a thing, let's pre-lay this out. Tunnel, 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 tunnel. Like that. I'm pretty sure that should do what I want it to do. We'll evaluate if it is too much, but I don't think it will be. Obviously they can't get to that yet, but let's give them a chance to actually, you know, build something, make it work, and then we'll evaluate from there. You can easily make a raised aqueduct with impermeable tiles. Oh yeah, I've done that before. But this is the fun way, in my opinion. Just let them continue working on this. So once that one goes, then that'll be done, and then I need one more, and then that's that. Which, actually, this doesn't need to be tunnels. We'll save a little bit of resources. And I've got, yeah, it's still too much science for me to unlock the doubles and the triples, but we will get there. And then there's going to need to be a way to get down to the bottom, which if that's there on this level, that comes out here. I could have put stairs on this tile, which means that one's up 1, which means that doesn't need to get blown up. 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 And then that doesn't need to get blown up, which means that's not going to work unless this was a what do you call it? Spiral stairs. There we go. I promise I know what I'm doing. Mostly. We'll just have this be what it needs to be. Each bad water pipe creates half a tunnel's worth of bad water flow. Well, if that's what it is, then that should work out pretty nicely. Be nice to get down with no ladders. Okay. it seems like every time I talk about ladders, there's at least one person's like, ladders are cheating. Play how you want to play. Use the mods you want to use. I just really like ladders. I don't really consider it to be cheaty. But now that we have the spiral staircases, I think I'm going to find myself using them a lot less. K for kaboom. This goes here, and then I believe I can just continue going one bit at a time. I could, in theory, without blasting all of this down with just regular dynamite, I could just put tunnels down here, but I don't want to use the extra planks because we're going to need a lot of them really quick to do this. I want to save those up. I seem to recall the devs being anti-ladder a while back said they wouldn't put them in the game. And that's fine. Like, there's a very valid game balance reason for them not to want to put ladders in. Because the average player, who is not going to be an insane person who plays 1,600 hours of this game across 4.5 years and puts up 1,000 videos on it, is probably not going to gain that much utility in the game by having access to ladders natively. And that the spirit of learning how the game mechanics work, ladders probably would be detrimental. However, when you played enough of this game, you want to do other stuff. You want to try new things. You want to do unconventional whatever, and you want to skip some of the nonsense. So, for that reason, I think they're a nice aid. I don't think they really belong to the base game, necessarily. And I do like the spiral staircases as kind of a halfway thing. Okay, that's still good there. Now, this guy is done with trees, so we can move him. Did I mark the rest of these as? Yes, okay. Let's move him to B. Looks like that's going to get all of those. Okay, we'll do that. Nice and easy. Got plenty of trees. Water is not great, but it's normal mode and we have 2.5 days left. We're going to be fine. Okay, these are ready. K for kaboom. Ah, this one wasn't quite finished. Come on. Okay, that's done. And we'll know we're finished putting dynamite in when these turn red and don't allow us to actually do anything. We're getting close, though. Just one more set here, one more set here. And then, of course, we have to have all of these done. So I guess for right now I can go ahead and just lay those 3 out in a row. And just kind of deal with it. This will also help drain stuff a little bit better. K for kaboom. Of course, they're going to leave that. That goes there. That goes there. That goes there. That's all set up, ready to go. Yeah, we're looking all right. We're looking okay. Also, yeah, like what you guys are saying with build cost, science cost, if something is that game-breaking, but it's a really good convenience thing for someone who's already, you know, fundamentally defeated the challenge of the game, make it really expensive. Right? Like ladders in water beavers, which, if you don't know, is a very, very difficult custom faction mod that I've played a couple times. Oh, that wasn't finished. That's a shame. Ladders in water beavers are very expensive to unlock comparatively, and they are expensive to build. Not, you know, not prohibitively, but okay, that's all the way down. Good. There is definitely a balance made in that mod, so that I almost said Beaver. That makes that slightly less tempting to try and rush. And then this, I think, based on how this is set up, yeah, that's going to require getting down here, I think, in a straight line. Is the double too high? No, the double is the correct height. Yeah, this, I think they'll be able to build from here, and that should allow me to actually utilize this. I should have started this slightly differently, but, you know how that goes. Best laid plans, etc. Let's see how that goes. No, no, no. B is no longer boom. Did I commit wrong here? I did. Okay, well, that's frustrating because now I have to pick that up, but at least I'm not going to be in completely horrible situations here. There we go. There we go. That's all taken care of. Now that can be turned on. This isn't going to flood with bad water during a temperate cycle, so we're looking okay. I believe this is going to give us a good opportunity here in just a moment to watch the beavers at work. So I'm going to get that in frame. I guess we can watch from this angle. Let them do what they do. I'm going to scroll back up here. Would have been nice if they had them, but grayed out talking about the bad water things we were talking about earlier. But grayed out so I didn't waste an hour trying to get the build every building and structure achievement. Yeah, I hear you on that. 5,000 signs for ladders and then needing metal blocks and treated planks is more than fair. Yeah, I could get behind that. Because if you're at the point where you want ladders for your sprawling industrial complexes, then you're probably going to have all that stuff ready to go anyway. Okay, so that is going to have to go back that way. That should be enough there. And we'll just need to keep up with this. Which faction has a better plushie? Well, considering the only one that has actually been released so far and shipped is the Folktales one. Probably Folktales, but the Iron Teeth one is on the way. I did order one. I don't know when we're going to get it, but when I have both of them, then I guess I can post a picture and let you guys decide. To combat the how would beavers use ladders argument. Oh, you're talking about ladder clamps. See, I don't know about equipable items. Which Water Beavers does do, if you have played that, then you know, you can get them permanent lifetime well-being things, like comic books, seashell necklaces, and a couple of other things. But it assigns that to that beaver as long as that beaver is alive. So it is possible. That is something you can do within the scope of the game without doing too much extra work. So I would be very interested. I wonder if that would be like if something exclusive to haulers maybe. For efficiency's sake, they have like the safety harness or whatever, and they can go up and down ladders or whatever. But normal beavers would have to use staircases, so you could create like utility shortcuts kind of. But everybody else would still have to walk up and down stairs. That'd be neat. Didn't tell me you were streaming. Well, you know, I did tell YouTube last night at like 2 in the morning that I was going to be streaming at 1 o'clock. My time. Yeah, let me do a time-lapse during a live stream. Let me know how that's going to go. Let me just bend space-time for the benefit of compressing this. 700 FPS is great. Yep. I am very glad I was able to build this computer before things went completely nutso last year. I do not know that I'm ever going to be able to upgrade or replace this unless things substantially improve, but you know how it goes. Need an option for double and triple deep tunnels. You know, I'm actually going to disagree with you there because I think that would be way too overpowered. I know we just spent a lot of time talking about ladders. But doing this way forces you to think ahead of time when you're planning stuff out. Because ladders, there we go. Tunnels can always be placed on top of other tunnels or beneath other tunnels. It's just, well, unless you're at the bottom of the map. It's just more work to think about what has to go where. Because these have to support things, right? That's why it automatically replaces with platforms. If you had double or triple deep, I would imagine that could lead to scenarios where you kind of trap yourself, where you can't really get rid of anything without entire maps collapsing. 30 times speed always breaks stuff for me. I don't know why. It just does. Speaking of stream schedule, love that post the next daytime stream so I'll know when it'll be. Yeah, I try as hard as I can to do things in advance for streams, at least the night before my time, so that people who might be interested can say, okay, well, maybe I can come or I can't come, and I know I don't need to be waiting around for it. And with how scheduling stuff works for me outside of YouTube, I don't always know until sometimes a couple hours before whether or not I'm going to be able to do it. But if I know at least the day before that I know I'm going to be able to do it, then I will always try to put one up. I might not always start on time, but I will give you an idea of what we're trying to do. Beavers getting trapped and dying is a feature of the game. It is. And then I will yell at them anyway. We are almost finished here. And we can also remove the platforms when we're done. We get the planks back. I probably will do that. I think we should be in okay shape. We are kind of down on beaver quantities in terms of vacancies and everything. Do not give up on exams because of my streams. Don't do that. I have had almost no extra time to do custom modding stuff or set up whatever. But at some point I will figure out how to do that. Got a little bit too much going on outside of YouTube right now for me to dedicate any more time than I'm already doing. Which this past week has been astronomical amounts of time spent on YouTube. But, you know, it's launch for Timberborn 1.0, launch for Satisfactory 1.2. You got to take advantage of that while you can. No, I'm in favor of game balance things to allow interesting alternative uses of stuff. Having the option to do different things is always good in games, I feel like. Unless it's ridiculously game-breaking, like, I don't know, invincibility mode or whatever. Like, come on. Just waiting on these guys to get this all finished up. I'm not ending stream in 5 minutes. Stop it. Real life and Timberborn, which one is actually real? Well, you see, that's hard because, you know, this is actually my job. So I do need to, you know, I do need to devote a bunch of attention to it. But somebody was dumb and decided to have multiple jobs and multiple things that require time and attention. And, you know, there's actual people that I care about that I do need to do stuff with. So I can't just sit in front of the computer all the time playing with beavers on the internet, despite how it may seem. You want a water park with pumps that require power as one of the recreation features. Well, depending on how much creativity you want to keep within your own mind, you can kind of already do that with the deep mechanical fluid pump that will pump water up to the top of somewhere and then make some sort of thing. I remember in Minecraft, way back in the day, before all the crazy stuff got put in the game, people would make water slides where you have like the boats, and you'd go up. If you were in a boat in Minecraft at the very beginning, I don't know if it's like that now. I haven't played the game in forever. But boats would always float, and they'd skyrocket up from like the bottom of the ocean floor if you're sitting in it or whatever. So you could make an infinitely looping water slide by having yourself sit in a boat, go way up to the top of the water column, go around these curves or whatever, and then you get down to the bottom and it pushes you back up. And boats would always break if you hit something too, so that was another challenge to try and navigate things. So, functional water slide, no, you probably can't do that, but you can make something that looks nice. If you build storage in the tunnel, the debris could be picked up in the tunnel then used to build. That's true. But at this point, there's only a couple of these left, and that wouldn't be a good use of our time. Whole lot of first-timers in the live stream. Glad to have you here. Don't know exactly how much longer we're going to be going. I did want to try for at least 2 hours, but I have a lot of other stuff to do because it's Saturday, and this will be the 6th day this week I've streamed, and also try to make videos. So we'll do what we can. I'm going to let them do the rest of this, and then we'll pick all these pieces up and go ahead and get rid of these planks here. Get 140 of those back, and get all those back. And then I think we'll probably want to get rid of the stairs, but I'm not going to do it yet. We need to make sure it's not going to overflow when we have a bad tide, but we won't know until we, well, have a bad tide. Alright, this is just about done. Now we got that, and now we can get all of these pieces of rubble picked up. They're all planks. Let's just prioritize this, give them a little bit of a chance to do that. And now, in theory, assuming we have done this correctly, we have made a bad water drain diversion thing without blocking anything off. It just goes way off the side of the map, and it's somebody else's problem, but it's not ours. All right. This here is... It's actually a clean water seep. I did not realize this was a clean water seep. Well, well, well. You know what that means? It means this is a good opportunity for us to send a beaver down here with a bad water pump and clean out some of the stuff. That's good because then we can actually grow stuff here. I'm not sure when I received gifted membership. It was probably during the first stream on 1.0 when one of our viewers had donated 200 gifted memberships. That was probably it, if I had to guess. Told the bad water drains can be capped. You can. I don't want to do it because I would consider that to be exploiting and missing the point of it, but you can do it, and people do. Okay, you want the fences down here? All right, we can do that. We have the technology. Which one looks better, metal fence or? Oh, they redid the thing for the wood fence. This looks cool. I think I'm gonna make the wood fence. That looks pretty sweet. I like that a lot. So they're gonna take care of that. They're gonna work on that. Pumping wise, oh, you know, I made a mistake by not having this turned on. Oh well, life goes on. They don't have anywhere to put water over here, so let's give them a tank set to water. They're obviously going to take time to do that, but is what it is. We need more pumpers, and that's going to be how they do that. 2.5 years. I really appreciate you being here this long, William. 32 months is nuts. There's I think there's only like 10 people who've been around that long in terms of channel support. I really appreciate it. That was a great stream. If you wanted to see Timberborn be played, it was a terrible stream, but for the community, it was a wonderful, amazing stream. I really like this community a whole lot. Need shrubbery fence around the Badwater Tunnel entrance for safety. Well, we could do that. This does not need to be... I'll just hit empty. I do need to move this if I'm going to put a fence around it. Did I... Oh, there's still rubble. Alright, I'll tell you what. I'll leave that there. There it is. So, you can't actually build shrubbery fences like you can with the folktales, so it's not going to really look like how I think you guys want it to. Also, that's a lot of logs. So for that reason, I don't think I'll be doing that, but I will put a regular fence. Okay, this is empty. Let's get that out of here. Let's move this here, get that disconnected. Then I should be able to... Yeah, let's do that. Make that one the priority so nobody gets stuck trying to build it. Yes, indeed. So many people from 2.5, 3 years ago. We're coming up on it. We're coming up on 35 months for the very first people. A little bit later, maybe about a week from now. 2 wide should be enough as going off the edge of the map doesn't count as a drop, and so infinite water can flow. Yes, correct. My main concern is that the 1 wide tunnel here is not going to be quite enough. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Oh, contamination jail. Yes, that was water beavers. Was that the? I guess that was the most recent one. No, it was one before that because the contamination jail's been a thing since update 5. That was funny. And then, personally, I think the, what was that building even called? The decontamination wheel, the one that was modeled after the carousel, but it was sped up incredibly fast, and then it also rotated like one of those, like Enterprise rides you see at the fair or at a theme park or whatever. It just dunks the beavers and upside down. That's the word. Dunks the beavers upside down in water at extremely high speeds. They just go or whatever, and then, you know, that, I guess, wrings all the nasty out of them. Yeah, that's top tier comedy. The developer of the Water Beavers mod has a very, very good sense of humor. Devilish is, yeah, barely beat you in that regard. But you, Kurt, you were the first one to actually, you know, send me money, because you're the reason I set it up, because you kept asking about it. Put a valve so pressure only goes one. That is, you know what, Mike? That's very smart. And I needed to actually set that up anyway. Let's take a look. Throttling valve sounds like what we want. Fill valve is a one-way outlet that regulates downstream water level. What we want this. 500 science, yeah. So what that is going to do, well, I don't want it to throttle at all. I just want this to block water from going that way. So we'll go unlimited. What goes into this? Treated planks, metal blocks. And I have, yeah, I do, okay. So, yeah, that's actually a good thing you suggested that, because I would not have thought, and this will help. Centrifuge. No, that was a different thing. Beaver washing station. Yes. Gate at ground level to block spiral stair during... You are absolutely correct, Hoff. That is a mechanic that I have desperately wanted to try out and have so far not been able to. But this is a good opportunity to do that. So we will... Well, once... I want to make sure this is built first, and then we'll come back to that. Won't a value limit throughput? It will. That's why I did unlimited. The 3 or 4 videos a month when he's in the next Yard Club and I'm not make me depressed. Well, you're allowed to feel how you choose to feel. I would encourage you not to become depressed about that, because you join him immediately anyway, but if you wanted to be first and you're not, then that's definitely a thing. What was the Ricky Bobby Talladega Nights thing? If you ain't first, you're last, or whatever. I know, but there's a lot of people in chat who might not know that's a joke. I need to clarify that for them. It is good meme value. So what I've started doing to keep up with the Beard Booster list is now YouTube has allowed you to export comma-separated value files. And that makes it a whole lot easier to sort and all that, because the interface on YouTube itself is glitchy. But what happens is, because, nobody thought about this, that people could have possibly non-English characters in their usernames, your name shows up as incomprehensible Unicode, just jumbled mess. So, because I know it's you, I know that it's you, but if I've had a bunch of people join boosters or get gifted memberships or whatever, and YouTube won't tell me what their actual name is, it's just mess, because it can't comprehend the non-English characters. And I'm just like, really? Because I can't even go in and find out who it is, because there's so many names on this, and YouTube, like, the on-site thing does not allow you to finally examine the entire list, because it keeps scrolling it all the way back up to the top. So I'm just like, you know what? That's really annoying, and I'm sure someone's going to see that and ask, hey, why is my name messed up? And I'm going to have to tell them, well, it's because YouTube doesn't like you. Oh, I meant to put this here. Let's move that. Yeah, okay. That's going to get me to... Yeah, all right. That actually looks kind of nice. And this, of course, is going to need to be hooked up to, once it's built, which Gary is the one that turns on during bad tides? Temperate weather. Drought. Original Gary. Why did YouTube censor the acrylic characters in your name? YouTube, what are you doing? No. I can put whatever in the file when I export the video. That's not a problem. The problem is that YouTube, in the report that it generates, cannot display acrylic characters. Have you circled it through Google Sheets first? I have not. It tends to do better with Unicode instead of a CSV. So YouTube will only export to CSV. And then, because I have Excel installed on my computer currently at least, that's what it defaults to open in. I will have to try and remember to do that. Make a dedicated forester that plants only oaks connected to a single connected to a single weather station called Gary Oak. Okay. Now, you know what we have over here is a forester that's only planting oaks. But how am I supposed to automate a forester to only plant during a certain season? I don't see how that would have value. However, we cannot rename foresters. So I don't know that that's going to work. What have I done here? Okay, these guys are done. Okay. I wanted to automate this to Gary. So when Gary activates, okay, I see something happening in chat. We'll address that in a moment. Automated will close it when Gary is okay. I think that's what we want. Disarrayer. Hello, welcome to stream. Thank you for the 10 gifted memberships. Knave Cave, Absolute Karma, Happy Tai Tai 2594. And here we go with the no spaces and names, makes it hard for me to parse what's what. We'll call it Danny Aylmeyer, CSI 6478, Kiki 21 Sheffer, Wayne E 5235. Is that Peacock? I can't remember. Oh, now we're scrolling more. Hold on. Queenie 8705 and Papoon Tripathi, I think is how that would be pronounced. Sorry if that's incorrect. I am trying my best. Yeah, thank you very much for gifting 10 memberships to those folks. Always good to see you. And I guess MP3's caught up to chat because now he's also gifting 10 memberships. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. I appreciate you for all this time. Oh, there's a whole lot more numbers in this one. PKT, JG, Frizy, JUSZ. I wish I knew how that was pronounced. Brian ETL, the true key. Hey! Oh, that's a name we haven't heard in a long time. Way back from the Ostrov days. I don't know if they're in chat or not, but let's see. Troy Baker, 1961. Dog 522 5254. That's a whole lot of fives. Icelandic Farmer, X-Introvert 1337. Gifted on behalf of MP3Zilla. Thank you very much for supporting. And yes, make sure you have your gift membership receipts enabled, folks, because sometimes this just happens. And here, oh, Tim's back. Hey, Tim. Good to see you. And thanks very much for supporting with 10 gifted memberships to the community here. Kinalina Winters, Christopher Stoner 2059, Kiwi News. I'm assuming that's New Zealand. Kiwi News Z. Scrolling once again. Oh boy, here we go. Got to keep up. Brady 9761, Lawnmower Bob 1. I hope you have a good Lawnmower Bob. Sing Harsh, Tommy K Ketchup, Kinks 071983, Chris Vega 7588, Mad Giggles 87. On behalf of our friend, is it Albrecht or Albrecht? I'm sorry, I want to make sure I pronounce it correctly. But our friend Tim. Yeah, LMAO. Here we go. You, my friend, you are the one who did this. What's the what's that from? What's that show called? I can't remember, the sketch comedy thing, but it's the one where they're trying to find the guy that wrecked the hot dog shaped car into something, and a guy wearing a hot dog costume shows up and goes, "We're all trying to find the guy who did this." It's like, it's obviously you. Anyway. And Kurt also gifting memberships. Thanks very much for the 5 gift memberships to the community here. Let's see, we've got Taijo 4236, Plague Doctor 969, JJ Customs 2799, Adam Ross 6474, Double Heresy. That's a dangerous proposition. But yes, welcome to the Beard Boosters. On behalf of our friend Kurt, thank you very much, everybody, for supporting the channel and supporting me by proxy. Now let's see. It's possible to get a second gifted membership if you're currently already with one, then it adds another month. Really? Did not know that. And here's Gary. Hello, Gary. Once again, thank you very much for supporting with the 5 gift memberships for the community to Thomas Moons 6219. Want to get the numbers right. Now I have to remember how to parse names. Barnabas Shank 4507. I am the JJ. AMCG 2752 and Mr. Rizzle. 311. Thank you very much, Gary, for supporting the channel, getting those folks in the Beard Booster list, and giving them access to early videos, including tomorrow's, as soon as I upload those. And once again, Hoff has unfortunately been passed over by the RNG. I don't know why. I don't know why it always picks poor Hoff last. Yes, amazing community. People here truly are some of the best people on the internet. And we try very hard, or I try very hard at least, to try and cultivate an environment where people can just enjoy watching videos without, too much of the nonsense from the rest of the world creeping in here. And you folks have done a great job. I think once we donated like 50 memberships trying to get him when it didn't work. Yeah, I have no idea why it does that. I don't understand why it hates him so much. He's always here. Satisfactory streams, he's almost always there. Timberborn streams, almost always there. But it never gives him anything. Why did it censor that? Okay, Kurt, for the record, for everyone else, Kurt sent the following message. H***, and YouTube censored it. Why are you like this? Why are you... Stop it. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that message. Enjoying the stream from Scotland. Agree, great community. Yes, very glad to have you here as well. Don't feel bad, Hoff. I never win raffles either. Oh, man. When I was in college, I guess I shouldn't give too many specifics, but when I was in college, the state lottery did a promotion. Yes, I know. But the state lottery did a promotion where students could, I guess, scan their student ID or whatever, and they'd be entered in to get a certain amount of money gifted to them on behalf of the lottery or whatever. And I'd done it for years. Like, every time they showed up to these athletic events or whatever, I'd always put my thing in. I never got it. And then my very, very last time going to one of those, guess what happened? I got it. And I got the money. I was like, you know what? That's awesome. That's really good. I'm glad I didn't stop putting that in there. Wonder how many are eligible for gift subs. Probably a lot. But it does go based off of anyone who has ever watched a live stream, no matter how long ago it was. And across 5 years. Yeah, 5 years as of today. 6 years. Math is hard. 6 years as of today. When I uploaded my first video on this channel to do... it was Ostrov only back then. It was 6 years. Yeah, because I still use, believe it or not, I still use the exact same Adobe Premiere file for every video. And I haven't renamed it, and it's named 3/20/2020 with a timestamp on it. Because I have horrible file management. So that was when I recorded the first video, and then I uploaded it that night, and it went up the following day. How about that? Six years to the day. And Disarrayer has attempted to grant Hoff a membership with one more gift membership, but it's gone to Barry D. Heil, it looks like. Well, thank you very much for the proxy support. Appreciate you. Unfortunately, Hoff has once again been passed over. The channel's actually substantially older than that. I just converted it for this use. But yes, pretty crazy what has been able to happen in the past 6 years. Remember a company Christmas party where the person that was unknowingly about to be fired won every raffle? Yeah, I'm sure the bosses were not impressed. No. I did not finish college as a music major. I just started as a music major. But I never had to take another math class besides what I jokingly dubbed music major math, which was college algebra in, 2010 or whatever. Does it give memberships to those who don't want your channel anymore? Or don't watch, I'm assuming is what you meant. Yeah, if you've ever interacted in a live stream, if you've ever joined a live stream, it will put you in the pool to get it. So there's a bunch of names that of course I'm not going to recognize people who haven't spoken in chat. But people that I haven't seen in a very long time, like I mentioned, the True King earlier. Absolute staple mainstay of the channel during the Ostrov years that I was uploading those. But I don't imagine has been very active the past couple years with all the Beaver stuff. So it'll pick people who haven't been in here in a while. I'm at work, just got a notification someone sent me a gift membership. Whoever that was, you rock. Well, there were a couple different folks it could have been. But glad to have you here. Actually, you know what? That was short enough ago I could scroll up. Okay, that was a dog asking that. Let's see. Excuse me. It looks like a dog with a whole bunch of 5s and 2s in your name. I don't remember what the order was. That was from... Of course, now that I'm actually talking about it, I can't see it. Yep, I must have scrolled past it, because it did just happen. Was that Tim? No, it was not Tim. Was it Kurt? No, it was not Kurt. What am I... Am I just dumb? Don't answer that question. It was not Gary. It's not Disarray, and it was not... Okay, so what? Now, okay, now I'm confused. Because I saw your name show up, I read it, and now I don't remember who did it, and I can't find it in chat. Well, it is what it is. Oh, Kurt has gifted a membership to Grim Noob 5896. I have not heard the term noob in many years. So I know you've been around a while, if that's your name. Salute to you. Thank you very much for supporting Kurt. One gift membership at a time to see if Hoff's going to grab something. Echo Dacho, maybe? Don't know exactly what the pronunciation intention there is, but also, on behalf of Kurt, gifted membership. Photo naming structure for images is always year, month, day, client. See, that's a smart way to do it. I just separate everything into folders. Let's see. I believe the pool is formed as such. All viewers ever, minus Hoffmeister. Oh, no. I hope YouTube's not doing that. Gothic Demoness. Hello. Thanks for joining stream. Okay, Whitney MW582 says, husband's a huge fan. Hi, Dan. He recently caught your eye with the comment about the Bank of America building in Atlanta and Rumpelstiltskin. Context is something we were told, so we'd be quiet. Well, thanks for popping in. I'm glad you like the videos. I know if you run out of subscribers for gift memberships, it'll start choosing random people on YouTube. Heard of it happening from another channel. Well, that's an interesting tactic to increase viewership. I don't know how well that would go over, because I have a very specific type of content that clearly a lot of people don't necessarily like as much as other things, based on view counts for videos at least. But the people we have here do really like what we do, and I'm always thankful for anyone who chooses to hang out and spend a little bit of time here. It was from MP3. Okay, dog, if you're still here, it was from MP3zilla. What made you start streaming? So I actually didn't start doing this. I had a bunch of friends in real life who during the pandemic got me into playing Satisfactory, and then there's a JRPG called Persona, a series called Persona, and at that point the newest one is Persona 5, and they were like, oh, you got to play this game, it's really good. I was like, okay, sure, I'll give it a shot. And then I started streaming that on Twitch, and then at the time I was already making videos on a city builder called Ostriv, but I had not streamed it. I was just doing they're all up on my channel. They're terrible, don't watch them, but they're there. And at some point I decided, you know what, I need to start actually streaming on YouTube, and then I think I might have done that maybe later in 2020, but it was just one of those things, you can't really go anywhere. It's pandemic time. You just sit at home, play video games, and I decided I was just going to start uploading. I'd always kind of wanted to do it. I just didn't have the time. But there was no longer any obstacle to that, so I started, and then that kind of just became my project for the next couple of years. Got monetized in, I think, October of 2021, and then slowly grew from there. And now it's not the only thing I do as a quote-unquote career, but it is the dominant thing now, that I support myself, support people I care about, and fund other fun things like all of my model trains, which you've seen on the other channel if you know about that. But I've had a whole lot of fun. Tim once again gifting a membership. Thank you very much to Drunken Narwhal. What a name. Fantastic. Either way, I appreciate, man, love what you do. Thank you very much, dog. Appreciate you being here or not being here, as the case may be. But glad you popped in stream to say hi. Kurt with another gifted membership to Toast Attack. You guys have such good names. I could never come up with something like this to save my life. I just think it's awesome when people show up and chat with funny names. YouTube has moderated our friend William for making a commentary about beavers and liquids. Even though we know YouTube thinks, actually, you know what? William might have actually intended it to be that way. Who knows? But it caught you this time. Dyson Sphere program absolutely terrifies me. It is very, very complicated. The same people that were getting me into some of these other games have played it, and they said they liked it. I just don't... I don't know that I want to dedicate stream or video time to it when we have all these other things that are already going so well. I'm not going to say I'm never going to do it, but there's a lot of stuff in front of it first. A Hoff-only stream. Well, the way that YouTube does stuff, I don't think it's going to... I don't think it's going to care who's actually watching. Ostrov is a very fun game. I really hope they can get the Alpha 6 or the final release or whatever it is he's working on out soon, because I want to make videos about it again. It was a whole lot of fun. Launched the channel, and I have a deep appreciation for it. Greetings from the Netherlands. Very nice to see you. Thanks for popping in. Let's see. How did I get a membership before Hoff? See, everybody knows the legend. Everybody knows the legend of Hoffmeister always being screwed over by YouTube. Oh, man. And I know on Twitch you can gift specific people, and people turn it into a meme where like a topical random name is selected for a gift sub or whatever. But I wish you could do that on YouTube. I'd give him one, but it doesn't let me pick and choose. Most like comment on YouTube ever was, "We're funding an addiction," and it was on your first train. Yeah, it was. It was. That got a lot. That got a lot of likes. Watched an anime named Persona 4. I wonder how close to the game it was. So every other all right. The Persona 5 anime is awful. It's not good. The Persona 4 anime is one of the best things they've ever made in that franchise, especially the English cast. I actually watched that before I played the game, and it's very funny. In terms of being close to the game, it is generally following the events of the game, obviously, you know, hammed up a bit for comedic purposes, but it touches on most of the stuff. But the English voice cast is hilarious. Johnny Young Bosch, Troy Baker, who else? Laura Bailey. What is her name? Who does Chie? I can't remember. But it's really good. It's really funny. Let's see. Had many odd usernames. Oh, I'm sure. Alright, now YouTube's moderating more and more messages. I don't know why it does this. I don't know. Okay, it's moderated. It just moderated Kurt typing the word "an" with an asterisk after. YouTube, what are you doing? Like, I can't turn auto moderation off, or else like horrendous slurs are going to be filling chat from random bots or whatever. But we can't go on like this. We absolutely cannot go on like this. We also haven't played any of the game in the past like 15 minutes. I want to test this, but we haven't had a bad tide yet. What else? Is this clean? Is this still getting... Okay, I guess there's technically a little bit of bad water left in here, but this is basically done. We can also, depending on how we want to do this, assuming this works, we can have this feed into this pool, or we could set up additional pumping or additional whatever here. Let's see. Can't wait to see the bad water tunnels in action. Yeah, it's really cool when it works. If you watched the video series... the Folktales when 1.0 experimental first dropped, we built a ton of these. Let's see. Will the automated gate let a beaver out of the tunnels during a bad tide? Probably not. I guess we'll find out. Let's see. Why did that message disappear? Automod hates the asterisk, assumes you're replacing letters to get around spelling checks. Oh, man, but that's... That's such a bad way to do it, though, because there's all sorts of reasons why people would put asterisks in words without doing that. It didn't moderate that one, with the disarrayer putting 2 asterisks surrounding the period. And it didn't moderate the ASCII art of the front end of a pig. I don't know why it does what it does. Some of the policy decisions on this website are absolutely baffling in the worst way possible. But I digress. We desperately need to be playing more of the game. So let's put in... I got 10 extra beavers. Okay, we need to... We've missed a lot of stuff in all of the all of the fun we've been having with all the gifted memberships and everything. So let's get caught up here. I'm going to put 2 more of those in. I think it's about time to replace with some more large row houses. These are great for density. This is technically out of the way. That is the worst place for that to go. Why? Why are you the way that you are? That is also... Alright. Alright, we're just gonna have to do this the hard way. It's just gonna keep giving... There we go. How many of these did I have to place to solve this problem? Too many. Now I just have to be careful not to delete any buildings. Okay. All that to save logs. It's fine. It's fine. We're okay. We don't need to be worried about it. Okay, well, of course it's going to censor that, Kurt. You can't just type that entire word in there. Let's see. One of the row house entrances is oh, you know what? You're absolutely right. That's not going to work there. Thank you for catching that, because I definitely would not have. If we leave that open, it's going to be ugly. Wait, where's the... Oh, it's down in a hole! I was wondering why I couldn't see the why I couldn't see the doorway. Well. Oh, come on. All right. All right. All right. The gloves are off. Gloves are off. Just get out of here. Stop it. Get some help. We will build a stairway to get into this one specifically, just because I don't want the game to tell me I can't do something. Okay, again, this is how we know this is AI, because YouTube AI must have identified Mike's most recent comment as an attempt to dox somebody. I'm talking about the location of the YouTube HQ and how far away it is from them. What? Folks, you guys got to stop using this generative AI stuff. It's just not good. It's just not good. There's so many problems. Apparently, eligible creators can give 10 free membership. Really? Really? Okay. Well, all right. Let's try that. Let's try this. I've got a button to show my support for JC the Beard. I don't like that guy. I don't want to support him. Membership gifting. Buy memberships for viewers. Send gift memberships free of charge. We have 10 gift memberships to send this month. Then why does the button say 5? Well, anyway, I'm going to hit send 5. And it's about to gift 5 memberships. So let's see who's going to get them. Bucket Boy 101, Sheldon XP 1248, Finral 8513. I can't read that one out loud, but that's hilarious. Tim_LU, gifted on behalf of YouTube, I guess, from me, but YouTube paid for it. So I guess thank you for supporting YouTube, so they give me free money, I suppose. But welcome to the boosters. Believe it or not half. Well, I've got 5 more. Let's try this again. Let's try this again. All right. Round 2. Fight. Memberships have been announced in chat. Who's got them? Hell Raising Jalapeno, another great name. Beast7625, Pierre Magdalene 4657, Tilly 9683, and Nicholas Monroe 8989. Welcome to the boosters. Welcome back to a couple names I recognize. And unfortunately, still not Hoff. I am upset. I just want this guy to have a membership, man. But you know what? Now we can do that. I don't know when that resets, but I will try my best to remember and take care of that. Why is the game paused? Because I had to click outside and it does weird stuff. Let's see. Give me 5 minutes to make a YouTube account for my mom so she gets one before. Imagine if that actually happened, though. Velar Fricative? I'm so sorry I'm bad at names. Thank you very much for gifting a membership to Joost Van Klink 7755. Appreciate you supporting the channel. And once again, I'm very sorry for mispronouncing names. I do try. Let's see. The day Hoff gets one is the day YouTube crashes for good. Well, no, it's happened a couple times. It's just, Okay, Kurt, I think YouTube actually hates you. Because now it's moderated a message where you said he did get one at least once. What in the world about that is, is worth moderating? Okay, let me just approve this. Let's see. Disarrayer has gifted another membership to Anthony Pert 6545. Thank you very much for supporting. Appreciate you as always. K for Kaboom. And now I can pop in with a spiral staircase, and we'll give them access to the back that way. You can set it so the game plays when not in attention mode. It's in the settings. Really? It's going to be bad that I don't know this. Run it. You're telling me this entire time I could have done this? Oh boy. All right, now let's give it a shot. Okay, so it still runs, but the sound's not there. Okay. Well, it is what it is. Tim has gifted another membership to @3bb.www.com. I don't know what's at that address. Don't go there, in case it's not something good. But that's the username. Is www.com still a thing? Because I remember that was like a personal domain thing like 20 years ago. By any chance, is there a mod for adding Ember Pelt's houses where they auto-connect? I don't know if that's separate from the Ember Pelt's mod, but obviously, you know, you've seen the series. Websites are getting memberships. Kurt might be on a watch list, depending on what YouTube knows he's been saying in chat. I'm learning so many new things. Yes, I am. Education is a wonderful thing. Don't waste it. I think I've received 3 to 5 gifts over the years. You have gotten some before, yeah. I don't know why so many other people get them before you do when you're always here. Okay, I do have a little bit more time to play today, and I did say I wanted to get a couple more things done. Although, honestly, we've done really well. I want to see this go off. And I think this is no longer able to do anything, so I'm going to take the bad water pumps out. Because this is a regular water seep, it does still have the possibility of, you know, becoming polluted. High score 35, very good. What we're going to do is we're going to send these beavers down in here, and we are going to, we're going to clear these brambles. Demolish building doesn't work, it's resources, okay. I only need to do those 4 to be able to isolate this. I don't know if that's going to be in range or not. We'll just give them a hand here. It's going to injure the beavers, which means we are going to have some more medical beds. So we should probably find somewhere to put those. I don't really have a great spot, so I'll just do this. This playthrough is also more geared toward testing than making everything, you know, the best thing it could possibly be, but that doesn't mean we have to just make slop. Tim has gifted another membership. Thank you very much, Tim, to Renchan, but not Hoff. YouTube, please give this man a gifted membership. Please. I know we've had several thousand names come through chat in the past 6 years, but please. Please just give this man something. I like that we time memberships in a way that he can get very little done. Hey, you guys like it. The VOD watchers sure don't, but you guys like it. And it's a fun way to do stuff. All right, let's make sure we get this taken care of before things get too terribly crazy. Obviously, we want to be able to, you know, prevent tragedies from occurring, which that's going to require we have this set up in exactly the right way. Let's make sure that is gone right there. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to have a little water storage right next to this either. So that is what I will... That's the wrong thing. I'll just make a little one here. And that needs to be connected. It's about to be. And we will just import the settings from this fluid dump. Of course, it has to be connected to Gary. And we'll go right there. And then I have to build a, what do you call it? Floodgate over here. If you put hospital beds near the bushes, they'll get in. What? Oh, you're talking about these? But that's not going to be a long-term thing. Imagine this game had bleed-out damage from injuries that beavers get. That would be a little dark for this game, I feel like. But I know there is a timer for beaver lifespan, and it does decrease as the well-being decreases. So I guess technically that kind of functionality does exist. Going to make an account called Not Hoff to get one. Poor guy. Poor guy. Glad I managed to catch a stream instead of just a VOD, and congrats on the channel's birthday. I'm off to get a birthday party set for my toddler. We'll have fun, and happy birthday to your child, Mississippi Cat. Let's see. Imagine if there was more injury than just injured. Feels like the mine should maybe do a bigger injury than turning logs into planks. So, if you've played water beavers, which I have no way of knowing exactly how much of the game you've played, but the water beavers mod does have a more complex injury system, and there's a couple different buildings. They'll have broken limbs. They'll have frost. I don't know if frostbite's one of, but there's a bunch of these different ailments that are severe that a beaver can get and must be treated with this complex process in that mod. So I know there's a way to do it. I just don't know, the devs probably don't want to put that much complexity into this. I've been to Buckner's. I have, as a very small child. Family-style Southern cooking. It's probably too little to really appreciate it, but no, my family's been without me because I've been, busy doing other stuff. No, but they love it. And there's a couple other ones of that same kind of family-style Southern cooking. Bullock House is another one that you probably remember if you've mentioned that. There's a couple in Atlanta that are probably, well, they're not in Atlanta anymore because they're not there. There's one off of, now, if you've been here long enough, you're going to remember, I can't remember what it was called, but it was off of I-285 on the, I think the northwest side of the city. It was like this big, like ramshackle wooden building in a bunch of different sections, and it overlooked the freeway. I think it got torn down, but there was a restaurant in there. Let's see. Figure you're going for bots before you throw all the beavers into the brambles. Again, this stream is more about me like getting comfortable with automation and playing with the new features than it is to be specifically a quote-unquote good playthrough. Although I am going to try to make this interesting as much as I can. This needs to be automated to... Is that also to Gary? Yes, okay. I love that we named these Gary, by the way. This is hilarious. Oh, no! Oh, wow. Okay, this is officially the funniest thing that's ever happened in stream. An account named Everyone Except E. Hoffmeister8160 has gifted a membership to not Hoffmeister. It's to a user called They Call Me Beats. Another good name, but... I can't get over this. This is ridiculous. This is so funny. Anyway, whoever that was, thank you for supporting the channel and giving this other person who is not Hoff access to the beard booster. I'm gonna lose it, man. Okay, and then Hoffen has also gifted membership to Instigator TWUK. Thank you very much. And tell me again how to pronounce your name if you didn't. I forgot. Velar Fricative, or I think is probably what that would be, has gifted another membership to Pukor7. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. I'm sorry I'm losing it. This is too funny. Oh, boy. Was hoping to gift a sub from one Hoff to another, but no joy. Well, that's life. That's life. It's the way it goes. But this has been the funniest stream with the gifted membership stuff. Velar refers to the velum in the soft part of your mouth. Which, again, I have no way of knowing if I'm actually pronouncing that. Okay. I did not take enough linguistics classes to be familiar with that. But that does make me feel like it should be fricative. If that's the origin of that. Any sound that requires you to vibrate part of your mouth to make it like V, F, and TH. Or I guess th, maybe. Oh boy, here we go. Here we go. Mursky256 has gifted 20 memberships to the community. Let's see who's got them. Stiggy Wiggy, that's a good name. Matt M9, one words, numbers. Oh, it's scrolling too fast. Hold on. I have to get my numbers right. 1697. There you go. That's what's attached to Matt M. Slothful Tom, Heidi Hole Org, Megan Dawson 9835, Holmes YG, Coach Hero, Ivan 19888, Chris M. Is that M or RN? I think it's RN 7OT. Ash Ketchum the third, I'm assuming is what that's supposed to be, or just the 3. Who knows? Gamer Mickey, Joseph Robin 5178, Awkward Slinky. That's a good name. Mapping Zero. Rogue Operations 2016. Yeah, that's a name we've had for a long time. Sam Maffs, now it scrolled me again. Reese Dalke, I think is what that is. Dalke maybe 4345. Goblin Ethan Smidula Oblongata. Okay, it's so hard to read without spaces, but I understand what that is now. Ken Hargreaves. Similicious OG. That's a good name. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mursky, for supporting the channel. And unfortunately, Hoff has once again been slapped in the face and left for dead by YouTube's algorithm. But I do appreciate you getting all those folks joined up for the Beard Boosters. Villar Fricative again with 5 gift memberships. Thank you very much once more. That is going to Jack Steinman 9028, Tupari 3, Texas Game Bomb. That's a name we haven't seen in a while. Good to see you again. 2290. Chazzy Chaz 7110 and Shania Anissa Featurey, maybe. Trying my best here. But thank you very much for supporting. Once again, Hoff has... Oh, we're getting a bad tide! Good. I wanted to see this before I had to be done with stream. Once again, Hoff has been left by the wayside. Which is, you know, it's very funny, but at the same time it's not funny, because I legitimately feel bad that Hoff hasn't gotten one of these. All right, and here we go. Everyone except Hoffmeister8160 with another 10 gifted memberships. To Shadowman8815, Zython M400, Mastigos Wilkins, Kate Krinke 5053, Nasir Budiman I Sorote, DK Tizano, maybe, I guess, 202, Reesewood 4268, Coffee and Cats 8. That sounds like a nice, relaxing weekend there. Eat My Dust, stylized, looks like. Thanks very much, everyone except Hoffmeister8160 for gifting memberships to everyone except Hoffmeister8160. Oh, I'm losing it, man. I'm losing it. All right. I think at this point it's clearly intentionally avoiding... we have to be well over 100 at this point. And it still hasn't given... I am, on your behalf, Hoff, I am legitimately angry at YouTube now. It's ridiculous that you have not gotten one. Perhaps Dino in the channel leading to the first area from the current bush project to have more irrigated land. Are you talking about right here? Because this is... Yeah, that would probably work. Do I have access to this side, or is it just... No, okay. I've got 193, so we might as well. Let's just get this laid out. And then I suppose we can just put this right here, get that set up. And assuming the bad tide drain thing actually works, this should not ever get polluted again. Alright, let's let them take care of that. We do at some point have to actually play the game. I'll make an account called Mind Goblin just so I can make a bad joke. Oh, I think I know where you're going to go with that one. Leaving the last barrier in place, just making it level so the seep fills up. I hope that's what you were saying, Mike. Well, we're going to do it anyway, but let me know if that wasn't what you wanted. Hoff's not on the blacklist because he's gotten gift memberships before. Just for whatever reason, isn't giving it to him today. I think the gate's hooked up the wrong way. It opens during bad tide. Okay, so when Gary turns on, it goes up to 1.0. And Gary, original Gary, only turns on during a bad tide. So that should, in theory, be all good. And it's currently off, so the height should be 0.65, and I think it is. Let's see. Wonder how many people have watched the stream since you started who will get a membership before Hoff. Probably most of them. In terms of unique users who have watched streams, it's probably... It could be in the, like, over 10,000 different people. I've never had a stream that has had live viewership greater than 500, maybe? I'd have to check. But the VODs get a whole lot of traction, especially the early ones and the new updates. So I don't really have any way of knowing how many unique people it is, but over the years it's probably been at least 10,000 different people. Did exactly what I was thinking. Good. That is the goal. Oh, the path gate. You're talking about the path gate? Yeah, this is gonna close when Gary activates. Or it's supposed to. Okay. It's actually... No, we've done this wrong, because Gary activates 18 hours before. And Gary is on. And this is now open. I don't want it to be open. Can I change it to automation closes it? Okay. Well, okay, how we solve this is we need a relay attached to this that is set not. So this needs to be not Gary, and then this needs to be automated to that relay. Okay, so this X means it's closed. That's what we wanted. That's what we wanted. All right, so the bad tide has started. Okay, that was a little concerning, but it hasn't pooled. Yeah, there's a little bit of extra. We did it. That's perfect. That works exactly like how it was supposed to. Fantastic. I am so happy about that. This is all good over here. Looks like it is. Everything else, of course, we haven't really done much with. But it's looking like we're good, and this is all ready to go. So, yeah, you know, get out of there. Don't get blown up. K for kaboom. And, of course, those stairs go away. Yeah, look at that. We got a lot more green space now. And assuming this is perfect, which I believe it is, we don't have to have this here anymore. So, maybe it's not a great idea. But, do you want me to take this out? This levee here? I know this level here is still higher than this, and that probably should just be contained. But I do like having access on the stuff here. The gate did change, yes. Find out from down the plug hole is on the Steam Workshop. It's just not labeled as a... Okay, that explains it. If it's not labeled as a map, that it wouldn't show up when it's a map. Okay. I know people kept watching that. Figuring it out. Virgil says, love watching your videos. Thanks for being here, and I'm glad you like them. Sorry we haven't gotten more done this stream, but we've been having a good time with the community, and that's very, very important to me. Gotta put in a bench to watch the bad waterfalls. Well, you can't chase waterfalls if you're already there, so you know what? Fair enough. Let's put in a couple of... Where's the bench? There it is. Let's put in a couple of benches so people can watch them. And we'll just modify our paths here to make that work. And now they can just sit there and look at all the sewage. It's good recreational activity. What do you all think? Does bad water smell bad? I am sure it reeks, and it is just heinously bad. Oh, they can't get to this, because somebody didn't give them a way to get across here. That is not going to be wide enough by a long shot. That's all the same height. Alright, I don't need to spend all those resources getting across here. Just to do that, I'll just put in some stairs. That should work out okay. I don't think they're going to need much else, but I do want them to have that relay in place. Replace it with a gate that has a contamination sensor. Well, the only... You know what? You're right. You're absolutely right. Because even when a bad tide stops, there's still going to be nasty water in here. But I can't change this until the bad tide is over because the contamination sensor is going to have to go down in the tunnel. And I obviously don't want them to get contaminated. Speaking of recreational activities, I won't read the rest of that. Well, enjoy yourself. Have fun, be responsible. For legal reasons, I cannot endorse whatever, but, you know. Why is there ground contamination? Because underneath here, all of this is contaminated, and it does go up to a certain extent. I don't know why it's going out so far, because in theory... Oh, you know what it does? Is these also contaminate land, and this is below this. That's what it is. Excuse me, not down here. So these tiles on either side are contaminated from this, and that's that. The reason this hasn't changed state is because the relay has not been completed, and if it's attached to a relay, it's going to automatically be set to off, or whatever, because this is a NOT gate. Bad water smells like a Denny's at 2 a.m. Oh, man. Thankfully, I've never been to a Denny's at 2 in the morning. I've been to a Waffle House at 2 in the morning, which, as funny as it is, the whole Waffle House is a Fight Club meme. I live in the land of the Waffle House. I have been to many Waffle Houses over the past 30-some years. I have never seen a fight at a Waffle House. Even the ones in sketchy neighborhoods in the middle of the night. So, I don't know where all these people are going to see fights in a Waffle House, but chances are some of the places I've been to Waffle House, if they're not going to fight there, they're not fighting anywhere else. Replace the levee going into the main base with a contamination sensor and gate so you preserve if unforeseen things happen. Well, I don't know that we need to do that because this would already be too high coming in from here, and this would flood this because of the way this is set up. So I don't know that that's going to be a good option for us at this exact moment in time. Why not just move the relay? Because I don't really have a good reason. I just wanted it to be above the gate there. I wonder if I could put... That would have been so much easier. Okay, guess what we're doing? That. That's so much easier. You could put in log storage at the edges of your current paths furthest from the district to have logs for future projects and give the haulers on the project something else to do while reading off gifts. That is a good idea. We did kind of do that already when we were setting off the things over here. But I think for our purposes now, and I did say I had limited time today and we're coming up right against that, I think we're okay for right now. But that is a good idea to have these things kind of spread out. I am going to be coming over this area, so before we say goodbye, I will put a couple of these in. Just so we have that, and then I wanted to come up over here. Well, this is already still cut off. We will slowly get around to doing all of that. People get angry when they can't have their late-night waffles. That's also true. Yeah, we don't have White Castle in this part of the South, unfortunately. I think the closest one to me is in Tennessee or Kentucky. We have Crystal, though, which is not the same, but it's similar-ish. Gotta go get ready for a soccer match. Have fun. I don't know if you're playing or watching, but either way, have fun. We're going to be done here in a minute anyway. I love how the whole big explosion on the map turned out to be a complete nothing burger. Well, I mean, in the sense of, you know, I wanted to get the satellite dish and the 3000 science. That was a pretty cool thing, but we had a fun time with the little challenge of getting over here. But it is, I will agree that it is all grouped at the beginning of the map, and I would like to see more maps. I know people make custom maps that do this, but base game maps that have hidden surprises, I guess we'll say. Further on into the gameplay, like at Cycle 10, Cycle 20, or whatever, where really bad things happen if you don't mitigate them. I'm out of here, hoping to catch trains tomorrow. We are going to be doing, most likely... oh, you were in the Satisfactory stream, I'm pretty sure. We're most likely going to be doing Transport Fever 2 tomorrow. Try to continue that one. Never been to White Castle. How does Crystal compare? It's not as good. It has more variety, but I would consider White Castle to be better. Oh, I love In-N-Out. In-N-Out's good. They just moved their corporate headquarters to somewhere in Tennessee, and I think they built a couple of those. But that was always the thing. I'd go visit family in California, and we'd always have to go to In-N-Out because that's a neat thing we didn't have back home. A lot of people unfairly, in my opinion, hate on their fries because they just don't like potatoes. They cut them in the restaurant, and they make them right there. Like, it's about as fresh as you can possibly get. They don't salt them a lot, so, you know, if you're used to the really preservative-laden fries and stuff that other places make, then maybe you won't like them. But I think they're great. I really like the burgers. I always get it animal style, and then I know they have shakes and stuff as well. I've not had one of those. No, but I really like In-N-Out, and the price is good. And they pay their employees very well, relatively. And I just think they're a good company. I like supporting that. Let's see. White Castle has an Orlando location. Orlando, for me, is about an 8-hour drive, so I would not consider that to be very close. Roller Coaster Tycoon will return. Maybe tomorrow? I don't know, because I recorded the last half of the Volcanius scenario, and the audio and the video got messed up. I don't know what it was. Maybe it's because I hadn't restarted my computer in a month, which I know is not good. I just always do it because I have so much stuff open. I don't want to remember what I had open to reopen it when I restart my computer. So my computer almost always just restarts only when it forces me to with updates or whatever. But for whatever reason, the audio and the video got really corrupted on that, and I couldn't publish it. Spoiler alert, I did win the scenario. I've still not lost a single Roller Coaster Tycoon thing. But that one's really involved because you have to make the custom roller coasters, and it took me a long time. And before I start recording it, I need to make sure I have enough time to finish. And I just haven't the past 2 weeks. So I can't make any promises on when, but I am going to have to re-record that second half of the scenario and then put that up, and then we'll continue with the rest of the scenarios. It's just that one specifically takes a long time to do, and that's kind of been the bottleneck for all of those. But that is going to return. We aren't going to be streaming 6 days a week forever either. I just wanted to make sure the first week that we had Timberborn and the first week we had Satisfactory that I could do as much of that as I could. Animal style fries is always good. Let's see. Skip to other comment. Okay, well, I didn't skip that one because it was profane or suggestive. I just skipped it because I didn't think it was necessary for me to read it out loud. But yes, it's very good. And I know what you meant, but it's also possible that this person could have genuinely enjoyed the quality of the food, and that's what I will choose to believe for the sake of sanity in chat. But also, I know what you're doing. All right. CPU's uptime is important to keep low. Well, this computer is also about a year old. I did that with my previous computer, and the CPU never had any issues. My video card had started to go out, though. If you had a Windows machine, you should be restarting it at least once a month. I wish Linux was viable for my use case, because Windows irritates me, and Mac OS is basically unusable for anything that I do. I've been to Orlando a couple times. I do want to, at some point before the company inevitably goes bankrupt, I want to ride the train to Miami. Maybe do a video on it for my other channel, but I have to have the time, and I have to have the money to go down there and do that. But I don't know, Orlando's cool. Been there for a couple different things. For one of my real life jobs, we do have some people in that area that we buy things from. That's nice to go see those. Anyway, I am, okay, it's after 3 o'clock. I've got to go and do some other stuff. I really appreciate you guys hanging out. I'm having a great time with this series. I'm having a great time just playing with beavers on the internet and talking to you guys. So I regret that we have to end now, but I do have to go take care of some other things, and then hopefully make a video for tomorrow, and then tomorrow stream all this other stuff. It's been a crazy past couple weeks, but I'm really having a good time. Have a great rest of your day, whatever it is you are doing. Stay safe, have fun. Thank you so much for all the fantastic support. Genuinely, you have no idea. You have no idea how much positive impact this has done for me. Trying to take care of a whole bunch of stuff, and do some fun things you guys will find out about later. But I will see you. Take care, and bye-bye.